This is the Camaro we had in one of the other videos. I think coming home from doing the Turbo GMC work, the new Turbo GMC build. Anyway, it's a 1980 Camaro. It's got a really healthy motor in it. It had some issues. The carburetor, the float's actually stuck and floated out, so we had to do some work there. Get it back up and running, but it is a Motown block. It's a small block, but it supposedly takes LS internals somehow. So it's kind of a hybrid motor. It does have some good cylinder heads and valve covers, and even the intakes all matched. So we ordered a set of headers. Once we got it running again, it's got a ignition system, a fuel system. A lot of high-end stuff. It's just been sitting for a while. This motor has hardly any time on it. It's fresh. It was actually built to be a turbo motor and run lots of boost. I think the direction has changed a little bit on this build now. The car has some other issues going on, especially rear suspension wise. So for now, we're going to get this thing kind of cleaned up, running and driving as good as it can in its current configuration. And I think the customer is just going to drive and enjoy it the way it is. He plans on painting it himself. And he's had this car a long time. It was his high school car. I don't know if it was his first car, but he drove it to high school. And I guess there's some sentimental value there. It's, of course, got a full cage inside, no seats. He wants to do racing buckets. He's got a lot of work already done to it. It's got a fuel cell in the back, batteries back here. It's got the on-off switch, stuff like that. A little edgy. Let's put it up in the air and we'll go underneath and show you what's going on under there. So just kind of working our way from the back to the front. Again, it's got a fuel cell that's sumped. It's got a fuel system. It's all good stuff. It's all braided. It's got the big filter back here, but it's kind of all hanging down. You don't want your fuel lines lower than your rocker, and especially hanging loose like this. So we need to address that. Of course, it's also open header right beside your fuel lines and your battery line, so that needs to be addressed. We back up just a little bit. It does have I believe that's an 8.5 inch. It's supposed to be all new, 410 gears, posi unit, stuff like that. It's disc brake. It's got slider links on it. Frame rails. You can see back here the slide links for the rear shackle. They got rid of the shackle, and these just slip forward and back. It's more of a race setup, like drag race setup, but it's there. So the frame rails are a little bit on the, I don't want to say rusty, crusty. It's got a lot of paint on it, so there's a lot of paint chipping. But to take this car to the next level, it would need pretty much everything we did to that 69 Camaro. And the customer just doesn't want to put that much more money into this. I feel it's safe the way it is, not for a turbo 1,000 horsepower build like he was planning, but for the current shape of this motor and the power levels it's going to make, I think he'll be fine just to cruise around. He's again got a bunch of new parts on. Some of it isn't exactly right. We need to, they put these brake lines on, and I'm sure these brake lines were for a drum brake, and they made them fit for the disc brake setup. But obviously you can't have your brake line bumping your frame rail every time the suspension goes up and down. So a lot of cleanup needs to be done under here. Someone welded this big cross member in. He wants to do a full exhaust on this car too. So normally your exhaust would come through right about here. So we'll either have to modify this or modify the exhaust or figure something out there. Headers are coming off, they're junk. New headers are already ordered. They should be here soon. It's got a new Monster Turbo 350 trans in it. Like I said, the motor is fresh. It's got Detroit speed A-arms, Kind of see it there. It's got some good front end pieces, of course, factory disc brake, big sway bar. It's Detroit speed also. So not a terrible, it's not like there's big holes anywhere. It's just, you know, it's an older car, and it's not up to the challenge of having 1,000 wheel horsepower thrown at it right now. So he might as well, he spent the money, might as well enjoy the motor as is for now, and later on if he wants to tackle this back end and make it worthy of 1,000 horsepower build, he can do that later. But yeah, we're gonna do best we can to make this run, drive, and do it, you know, good, and then he can decide what he's gonna do from there. We did get a little bit of tuning done on it. It seems to start fairly good. Battery's a little weak, timing might be a little off, and it runs fairly good. There was unfortunately a lot of oil that leaked onto the header wrap. Like I said, those headers are coming off. We just don't have our new ones yet. So right now, let's fire it up, listen to it, and we will get it out off the lift bay, get it moved to the other side until we get some parts that come here. It's open header. All right, I'm having problems getting this to idle down even with full the idle set all the way low. As you can see, we don't have a vacuum cap here. We just have a straight vacuum leak, so we'll put a cap on that. And I think this is the only vacuum line on this carburetor. We'll go over it again, but that should make it idle a lot better. Let's give this another shot. We did also put some antifreeze in it. Much better. Still have decent oil pressure at idle warmed up. We're at 40 pounds. Temperature went way down. We're at 155, 160. Got the chop. All right, that's enough playing around with this for right now. We are waiting on parts, like I said. Now it actually starts, runs, idles. It's not dumping fuel down the carburetor. We got the oil changed. We'll run it a little bit longer, change that oil again, so since there was so much gas in it, if I didn't mention that the floats did stick in the carburetor and pretty much filled the motor up after we shut it off. When it arrived here, the fuel pump was left on, and it just kind of filled the motor up with gas. So we got that flushed out. We'll change the oil one more time, but until parts come, we got it moved over on this side, and we're actually going to come out here, and we have to pick up something, so we need to hook to the car trailer. And it's going to be something interesting. I'll probably put that in the thumbnail, so that's what we're going to go pick up right now. So let's get in the Yukon, the Quadrasteer, hook up to the trailer, and we're going to go out and pick this up. As you can see, we're hooked up to the trailer. We're going to get on our way. And like I said, this is something pretty interesting to pick up. Fishtail much? Good grief, that thing's all over the place. All right, we're here. Got the trailer right in front of it. There it is. We got us a tiny house, chicken coop. Get a little better view of it. I told you it was something interesting we're hauling, but we're probably gonna name this Yukon XL Quadrasteer hauls a house. Unfortunately, they did not leave the keys in the forklift, or I would load it myself, so we're just waiting for them to come out. And this isn't ours. We're delivering it. We're picking up and delivering for someone, but it's actually a nice little chicken coop. Gonna be too far forward. Right, straight in, straight in. Straight around, straight. How's your boom on there? You all the way one way or the other? Alright guys, we already got it unstrapped. We got it back safe and sound. Now we're just gonna take the John Deere, the long forks, and scoop it up off there. And there's a chicken. Here's your new home, chicken. What do you think?
Nice.
There we go, we got an empty trailer. We'll head back home, get unloaded. The girls are driving the John Deere. We're not far from my house, so we're back home with the John Deere and the Yukon and the trailer. It's very, very nice having the Yukon that can, I mean, not that that was a heavy load, but it tows it with ease with the car trailer. And we had a couple people inside with us and the dog, and extremely comfortable with that. So very thankful for the Yukon. Something a little different for today, but anyway, thanks for stopping by. Have a good day.